Tampa Bay 8-2 yesterday in a game that went 9. This game will also go 9, and if you've been following spring training, there is that option to play 7.
Yeah, stay tuned. It could be anything.
The option is rarely taken advantage of, it would appear. So we're going to be with you all day. Settle in.
It could be 5, it could be 8, it could be 9, it could be 15. Who knows? But we're here. Doesn't matter.
Albies, the second baseman, one of the 4 Braves players who took home the Silver Slugger Award last year, including Freddie Freeman, the reigning National League MVP. Vasquez back, giving that a look off into the seats. I don't know. Do you feel this way too, that when you see people in the stands, at least for a second, it catches you by surprise?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it makes a difference. I know there's not a lot of people in the stands, but it certainly makes a difference in how you look at a ball game. I mean, last year was just awful, looking out at empty seats all year long, and terrible for the players in particular. But you know, just to see some people there, and that should increase as the season goes on.
Rocketed but fouled. I think of guys like Alex Verdugo, who's brand new to the Sox and didn't get that feeling of standing there in right field with a full Fenway on a beautiful night, you know, maybe a Yankee series, and, you know, doing something like he did, taking away a home run and getting the reaction.
Yeah. Well, he'll get that this year, you know, because it'll be the first chance for him to play in front of the fans at Fenway Park, and that's something I think that he thrives on.
Big cut by Ozzie Albies. Dansby Swanson, their shortstop, is on deck. Yeah, just to hear reaction, you know, on either a big hit or a terrific defensive play, even though, you know, on opening day it may only be 4,400 people at Fenway, it's still going to resonate to some degree, and that'll be nice after the silence of 2020. Poked into center field. Renfroe will make the catch. 2 down.
Well, we're seeing some different looks in the outfield for the Red Sox, obviously, and today's another different look. Gonzalez in left, Renfroe in center today, and Alex Verdugo in right. Renfroe's a very good defensive outfielder with strong throwing arm. The concern sometimes is where he throws it. It's not always accurate, but he's got a very, very strong arm.
Powerful bat.
He can go get him in the outfield.
It'll be strange not obviously seeing Jackie Bradley in center field, Benintendi in left any longer. That'll take some adjustment, I think, for the fans watching and in Fenway. Swanson will take a strike. .274, 10 home runs in 60 games last year. They've got a real good one here. He hit 17 home runs in a full season 2 years ago. Martin signed through this season with a club option for 2022. He'll be 30 years old on April 4th. Quick pitch. Had him off stride.
That's one thing about Perez. He doesn't waste much time. You know, he gets the ball. He's back up on the rubber. He's ready to go. He's ready to attack hitters. And there's that little, you know, kind of half windup that he'll use on occasion to try to throw the timing of the hitter off.
Oh, how that catches the attention when you say a guy gets it and throws it.
Yes.
Ground ball up the middle and a base hit. So Swanson aboard with 2 down for Atlanta. These two clubs will see a lot of each other this spring.
Ball right back up the middle. There's nothing Hernandez could do at shortstop to get to this. And that's kind of a nice feeling as a hitter. You know, you see it go by that shortstop, and you know you've got a base hit right away. All you got to do is round first. Make sure you tag first and round first. That's it.
Sends up the first baseman today, Jake Lamb. Up on the left side with 2 down. Christian Vasquez working with Martin this afternoon. Also expecting to see Darwinzon Hernandez today, among others. out of the Sox pen. And a strike. Sox beat up on Tampa Bay 8-2 yesterday for their third straight win this spring, and really good sign there. Garrett Richards was quite sharp.
Well, he needed that outing very, very badly. He was all over the place in his first couple. They finally found a mechanical thing that he had a chance to work on. It kind of straightened his delivery out a little bit. It calmed it down, and he was able to throw more strikes. And that had to feel good because, you know, when you get a couple of negative starts like that, you start to press a little bit, even though it's spring training.
Garrett yesterday with 7 punch-outs, 4 scoreless innings.
Yeah, it's like, you know, it said his left foot, he wasn't taking a step back as far as he would, and it kind of made him go more north and south on his pitches instead of east and west. And so he had his body under control, the top part of his body, the bottom part of his body going in the right direction yesterday, and that seemed to make a big difference for him.
2-2 to Lamb. And
whoa, come on now. Hey, come on. Give me a call. Looked like he had the inside part of the plate on that one, didn't it?
Manny Gonzalez behind the plate today. Count 3-2. And a runner on the move and a tapper foul. Yeah, I mean, there had started to get a lot of attention around Tanner Houck. Not that that's going to stop. He's been throwing the ball very well as a guy who could work his way into that rotation. You got Eduardo Rodriguez as the Sox #1, and Nate Eovaldi, Martin Perez, Nick Pivetta, and Garrett Richards. Also, Matt Andriese is one of the guys who's in there in the mix potentially, as that one is dribbled foul.
Yeah, Pivetta does look pretty good.
And it is nice to be discussing guys who can get outs, you know.
Yeah, we went through a lot of guys last year that couldn't get outs.
And great to see Eddie back. It looks great so far this spring, Eduardo Rodriguez. And that's going to be ball 4. That's a tough one as he had him struck out. So it's first and second. Abraham Almonte will be the batter. Alex Cora said this week about Tanner Houck. He said, I think he's in the mix as a starter.
Well, his velocity has increased up to 97 miles an hour. We saw him last year working at, what, 93, 94, and that's quite an increase for him during the off season. And that's been very regular during spring training.
Wednesday, Tanner Houck.
You know, it's not one of those things where, you know, it just happens once in a while. It's been happening very consistently. And I guess with the short season last year, the rest in the off season has helped increase his velocity. And it's not so much the velocity, it's where you throw it. And we know from last year that he's got a pretty good idea where he wants to throw the baseball.
I'd say right now more than likely you would start the season at AAA Worcester, but you never know. There's some people fighting for jobs here in the middle of March. Two on here for Atlanta in the first inning. We're expecting to see and hear from several Red Sox today. Among them, Xander Bogaerts is in there at the DH. And that is in there for strike 3. Made another good pitch to Phantom. 2 left. Red Sox coming up.
Why am I so calm right now? Because this isn't a spy thriller. This is a Nissan sales event ad. Right on cue.
Hurry in for a low $199 per month lease on the 2021 Rogue.
Tick-tock, time's running out.
Tom Brady is the greatest quarterback in NFL history. To commemorate his 7th Super Bowl championship, Big Time Bats is releasing this officially licensed art football. The full-size football has the reproduced original artwork of famed sports.
Fans keeping safe out there on the berm, socially distanced. Great day to see a ball game with Dad. Starting lineup for the Sox today. Kike Hernandez will lead it off. Then Verdugo, Bogaerts, Devers, Renfroe, Marwin Gonzalez swinging a good bat. Christian Vasquez doing the catching. As mentioned, Bobby Dahlbeck with 4 home runs. Arauz at second up against the right-hander Ian Anderson. Last year 3-2, 1.95 ERA, and pitched a lot in October.
And the defense today for the Braves, Adrian's at third base, Swanson the shortstop, Albies at second, and Lamb the first baseman. Left to right, Almonte, Acuna Jr., and Irvin, and Contreras doing the catching.
Kike to start it. He's at shortstop today, the veteran. Anderson, good stuff, coming off a terrific October. Pitched 18 2/3 innings in October with an ERA of 0.96. He flat got it done. Braves a win shy of going to the World Series. Two-1 to Hernandez.
Al Hernandez has been used a lot in the leadoff spot. He's been used at different positions, outfield, second base. Getting the start today at shortstop. Another one of those guys that can move around for the Red Sox. A lot of different positions. Veteran guys.
Like Marwin Gonzalez. Those two guys have both played 7 positions. Foul tip to the mid for strikeout, 1 away.
Just threw a fastball right by him on the outside part of the plate. Quickly got ahead, put him away with the fastball, and down goes Hernandez for the first out of the game for the Red Sox.
Braves have added the veteran Charlie Morton to a good rotation. And really have no excuses as far as being, you know, the very top of the National League East all summer. Here's Verdugo, 308 last year with 6 home runs. We're going to hear from Alex today, which we look forward to very much. He's in right field here this afternoon. Led the majors last year, tied for the Major League lead with 7 outfield assists. And a breaking ball swatted foul. Great sign there to see number 2 on deck. His second game this season as DH this spring for Xander Bogaerts. You're right. You know, you mentioned this in the open, Rem, that you come to camp and you got a shoulder, and you know, after a few days you still got a bit of a sore shoulder and it's kind of lingering a little bit, and people start to go, well, when are we going to see number 2?
Yeah, that's when I got a little bit concerned, you know, the amount of time that he was out. And I'm saying, man, is there something more going on here than just normal tightness or stiffness from a lack of a throwing program in the off season? But apparently things are moving in the right directions, in the right direction, and we'll wait and see what comes of it. But at least he's getting a chance to DH now and get some at bats, try to get his timing.
The Red Sox ought to be able to score runs. They should hit, but you got to have that guy in the heart of the lineup.
Now, yeah, it's such an important position too at shortstop.
3-2 from Anderson, fouled off. Big cut by Alex Verdugo. Alex leading the ball club in hits, batting average, and on-base percentage. Tied for the team lead in runs last season. Yeah, it's going to be strike 3. Caught him looking back-to-back Ks to start it for Anderson.
Well, that fastball right down in the inside corner looks like about knee-high to pick up the strikeout. It was supposed to be away, but they came down and inside, and good call by the home plate umpire on making that strike 3 call.
And Xander, the designated hitter today, really was a bright spot last year, one of the few bright spots for the Sox. Again, 311 home runs in 56 games, and ended the season on a 10-game hitting streak. Oh, 0-2.
Needs some inconsistent at bats here during spring training now as he moves down the line as we get closer to opening day. Get that timing.
Did you always have a number in mind how many at bats you needed?
You know, if it was 2 and I was 2 for 2, I felt pretty good about it.
Sure.
It really is how you're going at the time, you know.
Breaking ball, yes, struck him out. Quick start for Anderson, very sharp. 3 strikeouts. One at Fort Myers. Dave O'Brien and Jerry Remy with you as we move on to the top half of inning number 2 from JetBlue. It'll be Irvin, Contreras, Adrianza due up here against Perez.
Well, the good news is you were able to get your shot yesterday.
Got my first one.
Yeah, we both have our first one, and my second one's coming up on March the 25th, so that's good news.
So you're going to be on the 25th. Mine's the first week of April, and yeah. I think X is going to be all set by then too.
I think so too. Yeah, he's the end of February. He's the end of February also, and then it takes actually the end of March, I should say, and then it takes 2 weeks after you get the shot before you rock and roll.
I want to thank Shauna for doing such a great job with the shot, and it was a breeze. Could have been easier. Up top here on Irvin. It's a nice feeling, but it's one you want everyone to have.
Yeah.
You know, have that experience. And we're moving that way. Working quickly there. Tap foul. I know you've finally, after a long time, you've been able to spend some time with your beautiful granddaughter.
Well, you know, it's going to be close to a year that we have. Well, it's actually a little bit before Christmas we got a chance to see her briefly, but it's been for the longest time we haven't been able to see either one of our grandkids, and we are really looking forward to it.
One of the more heartbreaking things about the pandemic. So many people have lost lives and jobs, careers, and businesses and everything else. And, you know, grandparents are kept away from their grandkids like that for such a long time. Big swing and a miss by Irvin. Second strikeout from Martin.
Yeah, Martin looks good right now. You know, he's coming right after guys, challenging guys like he normally does. Throwing that fastball that time right by Irvin to pick up the strikeout. His second strikeout. Got the last strikeout to the first inning to pick up his first. Now gets his second with the leadoff man in the second inning.
William Contreras doing the catching today for Atlanta. Looking forward to chatting with Will Venable, who is in the Sox dugout as the bench coach this season alongside Alex Cora. We'll talk to Will the bottom of this inning. And it's a role for him in a brand new city with a brand new club, new spring training, all of that. So much newness for the new guy on the staff. Interested to see from Will who's really kind of stood out and why. That's in there, zipped in for strike 3. 2 down.
Yeah, this is what Cora likes about Perez. The fact that, you know, he's not going to mess around. He's going to come right after people. And that's what he's done so far in this game. Picking up the outside corner that time for the strikeout.
Adrianza to step in. Where the base is empty and 2 away. Saw the Yankees have lost a key man at the top of the season. The veteran relief pitcher Zach Britt, one of the best in the game.
Yeah, it's a tough loss for the Yankees.
High fly right field, closing on that. Verdugo, it's going to drop in for a base hit. So second hit for Atlanta. Yeah, Zach Britton with a setback. He's having surgery to remove a bone chip from his throwing elbow. That's going to be a few months. And he said that back in January he got COVID and got it, you know, particularly bad when you think of him as a professional athlete. He lost 18 pounds.
Wow. Well, I say, you know, some people get COVID, can't taste, they can't smell, they have no interest in eating. Stomach is always upset. There's all kind of different side effects to it, but you hear that quite often. People do lose a lot of weight.
Ryan Goins here, the DH, will lay off one that just misses. Martin wanted that one.
I don't blame him. Got a couple in this game thought he should have had.
Oof, that's a good pitch.
Yeah, it's not too low.
1 on 2 out. Loop the other way down the line, but a foul ball.
Now that would have really ticked you off, right? If that ball drops in for a base hit after making a pitch like he did,
yeah.
Then you get a little flare down that third base line, and fortunately going foul.
You're tearing your hair out.
Oh man!
Even in a spring game. Acuna on deck. I had a buddy who had a bout with COVID, and it wasn't a real bad one, thankfully, but he did lose that sense of taste for several days, like, you know, a week or something. And he said he started drinking something that he hated, and he knew he couldn't taste it, but he said as soon as that hit my lips and I could taste it and how bad it is,
yeah,
he said, I'll know I'm good.
Yeah.
That's exactly what he did. 2-2 wailing away, comes up empty. Good inning again for Martin. He strikes out 3. Day in Fort Myers, no scores. We go to the bottom of the second, and delighted to have new Red Sox bench coach Will Venable with us. He will be Alex Cora's chief lieutenant, right-hand man. Will, did you ever think you'd be doing this? You talk about new technology and a new way of communicating. Here we are Skyping with you during the game. But thanks so much for being with us.
Happy to be here. No, you know, we're all about adjustments here in the COVID era. So, you know, it's an age of being flexible and doing whatever it takes. So happy to be with you guys any way I can.
A pleasure. You know, you had a really fine 9-year Major League career. Now your first Red Sox camp in this role. Your impressions so far, how has this gone? How has the spring training gone for you?
Oh, it's been awesome. Guys are getting their work in, look great. You know, we're putting things together from a strategic standpoint and making sure that we're, you know, just dialing in all the details, and guys are getting in shape, getting their timing down, and, you know, getting that cohesiveness that you look for, the opportunity for guys to be out on the field together and go to work.
Will, Jerry Remy here, and my question to you is this really an interesting lineup. I mean, you got to keep your eye on the lineup card every day because things could be changing at any moment. I mean, you've got a lot of guys that can play a lot of different positions on this team, and a lot of guys that carry around a lot of gloves. So that's a lot of extra work to be putting in.
Yeah, well, these guys are certainly flexible and versatile. Can play all around the field. They can all hit and defend. And yeah, I think that's going to be one of our strengths is having so many guys that can go out there and impact the game in a lot of different ways.
Will, for you, how do you see this role now? I remember talking with a bench coach years ago who was working alongside Jim Leland, and he said he wants to hear my opinion on virtually everything. Is that the way you think it'll go with you and AC, constantly sharing ideas on situations and strategy and whatnot?
Yeah, you know, I'm here to support AC in any way I can. I think that's going to be mean different things at different times of the day and in the game. So whatever that turns into, I'm here to help however I can.
Fascinated to read, you know, that your older brother Winston played for the Chicago Bears. Played in the CFL as well. Hard-hitting linebacker. Yes, talk about hard-hitting. A deep drive here to left field by Renfroe, and he hit the daylights out of it, and that ball is gone. So the Red Sox jump out in front 1-0 on a deep smash by Renfroe. This is a guy who not long ago hit 33 home runs for the San Diego Padres in 2019. So, Will, you got to love that swing. When he connects, it can go a long way.
Yeah, big, strong athlete. I'm really excited to watch him play on a daily basis. I know I was in San Diego when we drafted him, and been a guy that I've been watching for a long time. So glad to be able to see him in person out here on a daily basis.
Oh, he got a breaking ball that time down, and he really launched it. He's got all kind of power. I mean, you know, power plus. And he really put a charge into that one way over the green monster.
So Red Sox on top here, 1-0. So my question was going to be, you know, he obviously is a terrific athlete. You are as well. But he chose football. You chose baseball. What kind of football player were you?
You know, I wasn't a football player at all, and he's actually my younger brother. I'm the oldest of 3 kids, and when I was coming up as a young person, my dad was a football guy, but my mom was not into letting her firstborn play football. But by the time my brother came along, there was no doubt that was his passion, his love, and was obviously very good at it. So, you know, it ended up being kind of his path, and I had mine. But you know, he's definitely the athlete of the family, and a guy that probably would have been a big league baseball player too.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, just a really good athlete, strong, powerful guy. You know, could pick up any sport really well.
That's that's true of a lot of families, you know, that you see where guys play multiple sports. It seems like they can do anything. If, like, they pick up a golf club at 7, they're going to be on the PGA Tour.
For sure. He's one of those guys, good ping pong player, good golfer. He can do it all.
Yeah, they drive you crazy. Well, thanks so much for joining us. It's a pleasure, and looking forward to seeing you in person at Fenway Park on April 1st as well. But enjoy the rest of spring training. Great to have you in a Red Sox uniform.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Will Venable, Red Sox bench coach, joining us with 2 down as Gonzalez grounds out for the 2nd out, and that'll bring up Christian Vasquez. Batting for the first time, 1-0 Red Sox, and a home run by Hunter Renfroe. Absolute no-doubter. And Vasquez will take one up top for ball 1. Well, Ian Anderson leaving one in the hitting area for Renfroe, but he does have 4 strikeouts, and gets a strike there. Anderson started Game 7 of the NLCS and Game 2 in each of their playoff series. Atlanta won all 3 of those Game 2s.
Now, he's an interesting pitcher, right over the top. He's got a good breaking ball. Got a little extra life, little zip on that fastball. Like him a lot.
And here's 1-2. Line shot, base hit over the leaping Swanson. So Red Sox have their second hit of the inning.
That's that breaking ball again. That's similar to the pitch that Renfroe took out of the ballpark for a home run. This time, Vasquez gets the breaking ball. It's also down in the zone, about just above knee high, and he's able to, shorten his swing up a little bit right there and just punch it into left field for the base hit. So that's nice hitting by Vasquez right there.
So it sends up Bobby Dahlbeck. And again, #1 in the Grapefruit League with 4 home runs for Bobby thus far, as he'll take ball 1. At first base, Arauz on deck. Bobby with 8 home runs a season ago in rapid succession. And foul tip to the mitt.
Seems like every time I put the news on at night, you see Dahlbeck going deep in some game that the Red Sox are playing.
And Anderson's 1-1. This player spotlight is presented by your local Nissan dealers. This spring, 8 runs batted in, grand slam in the 6th inning against these Braves on Wednesday for Bobby Dahlbeck. Two-one. Today marking the 4th of 9 meetings between the Sox and the Atlanta Braves. And they will meet again during the regular season. Play 4 times, 2 at Fenway in May and 2 in Atlanta in June.
Well, the last couple of days we could have actually played some baseball up here. I mean, if either one of those days had been opening day at Fenway Park, it would have been pretty nice for baseball. Now that changes over the next couple of days. Big time. Welcome to the month of March.
Just about to set those clocks for it too, springing ahead.
Yeah, I got to go home from here and go right to bed because I'm short an hour tonight.
Yeah. Not even going to wait for the sun to get out. Just go right to bed.
Right to bed.
Got to get a head start. We're on again 1 o'clock tomorrow against the Minnesota Twins. That will be at their spring training ballpark. Breaking ball struck him out. But a home run by Hunter Renfroe. Big time power here. Went down to get it. Up and over the monster. 19.
Spring training action as the Sox take on the Twins. Don't miss first pitch tomorrow afternoon at 1 on NESN. It's presented by your local Nissan dealers.
Twins should once again be tough to beat in 2021. Top of the order here for Atlanta. It'll be Acuna Jr. scheduled to bat, then Albies and Swanson. 1-2-3 against Martin Perez. Who struck out 3 men in the second. He has 4 Ks through 2 and has a 1-0 lead. Acuna Jr., 23 years old, 30-30 man 2 years ago. Talk about a bright future. He's already one of the top players in the National League. Rookie of the Year a few years ago. And it takes one up and in.
Now one of the top young players in the game without question.
Albies on deck. Here's the 2-1.
I think the last game I did was the Atlanta Braves versus the Red Sox. Same situation from Fort Myers, and this is almost the exact same lineup the Braves brought this time as they did last time. You had Acuna leading off, Albies second. They didn't have Swanson last time we did a game, but it's here today.
2-2. Manny Gonzalez is not quite seeing the same strike zone that Perez is seeing.
Quit begging, Dave. Come on.
And the payoff pitch. That one a rip, but a play there at third base. Endeavors up and over in time to get him. Rafael right there, one away.
That ball rocket down at Devers. Look how low he is in his positioning. Very good. And that ball bounces up to him. He goes up to get it over the right shoulder. And then takes a couple of crow hop steps. Makes an easy throw to first base to get the out. Like that positioning where he was down lower that time. Gives him a better look at the ball off the bat.
Rafi going with the high socks today.
High socks and the low stance. Love it.
Albies takes a ball 0 for 1, a fly to center. We're talking about Martin Perez and how well he pitched down the stretch last year to leave such a strong impression. Red Sox eventually re-signing him to the contract. He had a 2.78 ERA his first 4 starts of September. And on that staff in particular, obviously that really stood out. 1-0. Dansby, Swanson on deck. And it's 2-0, a strike. Interesting week. Major League Baseball on Thursday outlining some rule experimentation in the minor leagues this year, which often makes it up to the major league level. A lot of experimental plans, including the electronic strike zone, pitch clock, which they're going to try in the low minors at 15 seconds.
That's very quick, but that's okay. Try it. What happens to the major leagues? When is it going to start in the major leagues?
We always, we're always like, okay, seems to work. Let's give it a try up here. A little too quick, and time granted.
15 seconds. Wow. So I'm not going to complain about it.
I know it. I know it. It's something a lot of us anyway would like to see. Think it could help.
Baseball has to speed up the game. They have to.
Absolutely. High chop. Hernandez up and over, and 2 gone.
See, one of the rules is they're going to eliminate shifts. I believe that's at the AA level, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
I read that.
Yeah, it's probably the most radical of what the experimental rules will be. 4 infielders at AA will be mandated to have both feet on the infield dirt, preventing the extreme shifts that often see players from the left side of the infield shifted to the short right field. So that's going to be closely monitored. And among those, as Swanson gets in, who is commenting on it this week, was Alex Cora, who said, let's see what it takes to make these happen. He said, there's certain things for me I don't agree with, but there's others we should try. And Cora said, sometimes games can be difficult to watch.
Yeah, he found that out last year.
He said, I lived it last year watching from afar. Strikeouts, walks, and homers, especially in the regular season. So I think most people believe, that a lot of stuff has to change. That's a cross for strike. In another low A league, the West will have the 15-second pitch clock. Another one will have pitchers who can attempt to pick off or step off the rubber only twice per at bat. Third time will be a balk. And a new one in high A, pitchers have to step off the rubber before throwing to first, eliminating the go-to move many lefties have as a pickoff move. Major League Baseball implemented that rule in the Atlantic League the second half of 2019 and saw stolen base attempts jump 70%. So if you like stolen bases. Oh boy, another one that missed.
Hey, come on. Let's go. That's three. That's three today. I'm hot. It's only spring training, and I'm getting hot.
Base is empty and 2 down with a 2-2. And you see Martin shaking his head going back to the hill. He's trying to contain himself.
He's the kind of guy that will do that. You know, he'll get squeezed on a certain pitch, and still 2 pitches later, he's thinking about that one pitch that he got squeezed on. He should have an out.
Ground ball again to Hernandez. It's another good inning for Martin Perez. He's been better than even the numbers indicate.
Chevy Silverado Trail Boss. When you have a 2-inch lift, rugged Goodyear Duratrac tires, and Rancho shocks, when you have all that, the last thing you'll need.
Get a little sun on the top deck. That's just perfect.
It's like a beautiful, beautiful day. Southwest Florida.
For me, this is a tanning day in about 6.5 minutes. I'd get all the sun I would require in about 6.5 minutes. Stand around a batting cage for, a few minutes, grab somebody as they're taking their swings, and then that's it. All set. Arauz to lead things off, going after that first pitch. He'll launch that one back toward the wall. He hammered it off the top of that fence, heading into second, and slides in with the double. Good swing.
Nice opposite field hitting right here by Arauz. That ball away from him. Doesn't try to pull it. Doesn't try to hook it. Just goes with it and uses left field. That left field wall is his friend. Hits off the screen pot of the Green Monster in Fort Myers, and that softens it up a little bit, so he makes it easily into second base with the double.
Red Sox trying to add on. Hernandez with a big swing, certainly not cheated. He struck out in the first inning. Alex Cora this week was talking about the veteran Hernandez and another veteran the Red Sox have, and Marwin Gonzalez, are both in the lineup today, and how many different positions they can play. The creativity having guys like that gives a manager. And he said something else too. He expects both of them to have leadership roles in the clubhouse, that he has given both of them the green light to speak up whenever they want to.
Yeah, I found that very interesting. 2 new guys to a ball club, but guys that have been around a long time and with success behind them, with some championship teams, obviously, with the Dodgers and the Houston Astros, and not afraid to speak their mind, not afraid to go around and interact with other players. So that is a little bit unusual on a new team. But when you think about the Red Sox, who are the guys that jump out in front? And it's usually a guy like Xander Bogaerts. Well, you almost need more than those guys, more than the one. You get a couple of veteran guys in there, guys that you can look up to, and I think that's a great move. And they're not bashful. They'll say what they've got to say.
Wild pitch gets Arauz 90 feet away. RBI opportunity here for Kike, who does have a World Series ring with the Dodgers. Marwin has one with the Houston Astros, so that's always an important part of it, to have guys who've won They're also both having really fine springs. Ian Anderson with the 1-2. Got a piece to hang in there. I think some people were curious about if Alex Cora might name a captain on this year's Red Sox team, and the first name invariably comes up is Xander Bogaerts.
Right.
With his success, you know, his star quality, obviously what he does in the field and off the field.
I personally don't think you need one in baseball. That's just my opinion. I've been a captain with the California Angels, and I was too young to be a captain on that club. It was my second year in the big leagues. Norm Sherry named me the captain of the Angels. I was with some veteran players, and I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to react to that role. What were you supposed to do? You know, basically it's lead by example. But then you see guys doing some things, you got to pull them aside and start talking to them, and I'm not sure they appreciated the fact they were getting talked to by a second-year player, you know. So I find baseball different than a lot of sports. I don't think that you really need one. I think you need guys in the clubhouse you can go and talk to and look up to and respect, and they kind of get the captain, you know, title. You know, it doesn't have to be official, but they get that, you know. So I'm not one that's real big on naming a captain in baseball. I'm not.
I think Alex Cora is right there with you.
By the way, I got $500 for being the captain.
500 for the year?
500 for the year. That was it. Yeah, it wasn't worth it, believe me.
What year would that have been?
1976.
76? That's not a bad little payday.
Well, I wasn't complaining about it, but you know, I called a team meeting and I'm saying, what am I doing? Why am I calling a team meeting? I'm looking around and it's like, you know, everybody's older than I am. What am I going to say?
Right.
Come on, guys, let's go out there and get him.
Let's go get him. You bring out your best Knute Rockne, right?
Yeah, exactly.
(3-2) to Kike. Won't chase. Ball 4. So Sox are going to men on the corners here in front of Alex Verdugo.
I made a mistake. I didn't call the meeting on the night that Nolan Ryan pitched. Now that was a major mistake on my part, because that's when you call meetings, when you got a good chance to win the ball game.
Right.
And I did not do that. That was a bad move on my part.
Then everyone can say later. You
got to know when to call meetings.
Yeah.
You have to know when to call meetings.
And you get credit for it.
Yes.
Like, oh, you know, we broke a 4-game skid because I called a meeting.
Yeah, we also had Roger Clemens and Pedro Martinez on the mound.
That helps. Verdugo struck out looking first time up. He's 0 for 1. Red Sox lead at 1-0. Bogaerts on deck. Xander in there as a DH today. 2-0. Red Sox trying to take their 4th consecutive Grapefruit League game. Putting some pressure on Ian Anderson here. There's a shot into left field, driving back Almonte to the warning track. Tagging up at third and coming on in to score is Arauz. And Verdugo gets the job done to make it 2-0.
Good job. Get the ball in the air. You got a man at third base. Stay away from the ground ball. Stay away from a possible double play. Get that run home, and that's exactly what Verdugo does there. I thought when the ball left the bat, it had a chance to go off that left field wall. Fell a little bit short, but still the Red Sox pick up the run.
So leadoff double, a wild pitch after the walk. Verdugo picks up the run with a sacrifice fly. Xander 0 for 1, struck out in the first inning. Kike Hernandez getting his lead. There's a line drive down the line. Sounded like you broke the bat. It'll roll all the way to the wall in any event. Hernandez churning around. Going to be a play at home. He's going to slide in safely with the run. So the Red Sox lead it 3-0. Xander Bogaerts guiding one down the line all the way to the wall.
Like something off speed that was left inside. It didn't seem to be a fastball that time, and hooks right down that left field line by Bogaerts. When he hit it, I'm not sure he thought it was going to stay fair. I don't think he got the good part of the bat on it, but they have the relay set up, as you can see, the double relay behind the left fielder, and it was something happened when Hernandez went in a slide at home plate. I'm not sure Devers gave him the slide or the stand up, but he kind of looked at Devers like, what are you doing? You know, give me something. Help me slide.
Rafael 0 for 1 with a strikeout. Massive cut. Xander Bogaerts advancing to third base on the throw. Infield is in here for Atlanta. And with one out, Red Sox can tack on another. Only one away. Red Sox hit 3-0. Rafael still only 24 years old. Go back to his last full season, 2019. He drove in 115 runs. He had 54 doubles. Down he goes, swinging. Red Sox grab another run. In fact, 2 more runs in the inning.
Wait a minute. This inning isn't over, is it?
That should be out number 2. And it might have been the pitch limit there.
Oh, okay.
Might have gotten to the 20. I think that was it. Anderson's had enough for that frame. So despite only 2 outs, 3-0 Boston.
Charlie Moore is a little out there.
How's your summer going so far? My summer's great.
Okay, he's a lot out there.
Visit redsox.com/season ticket holders.
On to the 4th, Red Sox 3 and Atlanta 0. And left-hander Martin Perez has been very, very good. He's allowed just a couple of singles. Walked 1. He has struck out 4. He has been in command. Lamb taking that walk in the first inning. Previous half inning coming to an end because of the pitch count. You get to 20 and you can call it an inning.
I was watching it and I'm saying, why are these guys leaving the field? And of course, was not thinking at the time of the 20 pitch deal.
Bounding ball charging in. Arauz up and over. 1 away.
You got to expect everything in spring training. Everything.
Sometimes the unexpected. Spring training occasionally can be dangerous. How about the shift here, giving it a look at something that might go away one day?
That big charge put on. He actually could have been in normal position and made that play a lot easier than if he was in the shift.
Almonte with 1 away. Actually, not funny at all. Arizona Diamondback first baseman Dave McKay suffering a broken rib and a lacerated spleen in a fall in the dugout in Arizona. He works for Torey Lovullo, of course, and McKay's now 70 years old. He was wearing a new pair of shoes apparently on Tuesday. He tripped on the bottom step of the dugout. He fell against the bench in a game against the Giants. Stayed around for a while, but then they took him out and realized the severity of his injuries. Apparently he's going to be all right for opening day, but my goodness. Gonna stay with the well-worn shoes, I guess.
Yeah, a long-time coach with the Oakland Athletics when Tony La Russa was managing that ball club.
Monte gunning underneath that one, but he lifts that one foul.
Yeah, the off-speed had him just way out in front of that pitch right there. Looked like it was going to be solid contact, but it was off-speed enough to get him out in his front foot just a little bit and pull it foul.
Lefties 2-2.
Jumping back just a little bit and apparently just inside the inside part of the plate.
He's walked one in the first inning. That's been it. Here's his 3-2. And struck him out. Caught him looking.
Boy, he's been good today. He really has been good today. He's been wearing out that strike zone. When he's missed, he hasn't missed by very, very much. Right to the outside part of the plate to pick up the strikeout. You can see by that stance right there, almost like he was looking for something inside, was jumping back, and the ball was on the outside part of the plate. So he's got it messed up right now.
Struck out 5 today. I thought you were going to say, and when he's missed today, he really hasn't.
He really hasn't missed.
To the shortstop, Hernandez, been a busy guy. And that's a quick inning for Martin Perez. Gets a 1-2-3.
Bring your friends and family back to the ballpark this summer. Visit redsox.com/groups or email groupsales@redsox.com.
Some of the fans at JetBlue basking in the sunshine on a beautiful day. Red Sox had 3-0. And they've gotten a really, really fine effort from left-hander Martin Perez. Talking with Dave Bush, pitching coach. Well, he was on from Jump Street. Only allowing 2 hits, 5 strikeouts, walked 1 man, retired 7 in a row before stepping off that last time. A lot of agreeing there. And very positive outing. Hunter Renfroe has a home run today. A mammoth shot in the second inning.
Home run coming in the second inning on a breaking ball that was down just above the knees, and he golfed it out of Fenway South.
Tops that one foul. As mentioned, 33 home runs with the Padres in 2019, 26 the year before. Played in the World Series last year with Tampa Bay. One, 2 will miss. Red Sox came into play today leading the Grapefruit League in batting average, runs, doubles, home runs, and slugging percentage. That disappeared on him. Down he goes. Strike 3.
Looked like this might have been a changeup this time. Looked like the full hand around that baseball. Slow it up a little bit, and Renfroe out in front of it a little bit. A lot of time that changeup ends up down and away from the right-hander, but that was down and in.
So going to have a pitching change for Atlanta. Anderson winds up with 7 strikeouts. He surrenders a home run. And the Sox have a 3-0 lead here in the bottom of the 4th.
Download the NESN Red Sox calendar with your TV provider info to get the best experience, including game time information, previews, links to NESN.com, and more. Visit NESN.com/schedule today.
Red Sox 3 and Atlanta 0. Bottom of the 4th inning, 1 man away. Jacob Webb to make an appearance, right-hander from Riverside, California. And when we need a question about California geography, we invariably turn to the Rem Dog, who played there for the Angels in the state of California. Where's Riverside?
I think Riverside is somewhere between Anaheim and the LA airport, on that way up there.
Marwin Gonzalez, first time up, grounded to second. Would like that one back.
Those used to be some rides from the LA airport. You get off to a long road trip, a long flight, and you've been having a few jolly drinks on the way back, and then you've got another hour to get to the ballpark, and not many good things can happen in that hour.
No.
On a bus.
On a bus.
Matter of fact, I had a manager that pulled the bus over to the side. He wanted to fight everybody on the bus on the side of the 405. And it was like, are you kidding me? That was Dick Williams.
That's what I was about to say. Who was the manager? My bet would have been Dick Williams.
Oh, yeah. He told the bus driver, pull over. He says, anybody want to fight? I didn't feel like it.
You weren't in a fighting mood.
No, I had no reason to.
High fly ball. He's not happy with that at bat. Up into the sun. Here comes Irvin. Out number 2.
What chase a pitch that was up in the zone.
What was it, by the way, that as you look at this, that
well, in those days they used to call them boom boxes, and they were not allowed to be played on the bus rides. It was okay to have them on the plane and all that stuff, but when you got on the bus, they wanted quiet, and there was a revolt going on at the back of the bus, and all you could hear was boom boxes, and that's what caused Mr. Williams to ask the bus driver to pull over the bus, and he was going to not only tear apart all the boom boxes, but every player on that bus. And lately, next thing you know, he got fired. You just can't do that on the 405 coming back.
Not on the 405. No, just pull it over, challenge everyone to a duel.
And I didn't like Dick's chances, because it was one against, probably 30 of us at the time between the players and the staff, and even though I had tremendous admiration for him, he wasn't one of their favorites. He was not a very popular manager with his players because he was very, very difficult on them, but difficult in a way that made you better.
Yeah, just not on the 405. Not a good idea. Vasquez will foul it away. Base hit for Christian in the second inning. He's 1 for 1. Who's your favorite guy you ever played for?
Oh, that's hot. I mean, Dick was one of them because I think he taught me more baseball in a very brief period of time about how to be a big leaguer and how to handle the pressures of it, how to act, and than probably anybody else that I played for. I loved Don Zimmer, loved him very much. Favorite of mine. I was very lucky with managers. Very, very fortunate with managers. I really was. And, got to play for some nice people. Dave Garcia with the Angels. Norm Sherry, who just recently passed this week. And, of course, Dick Williams. Least favorite was Ralph Houck. Just didn't seem to, he was kind of like at the end of his career, and it was almost like he was mailing it in.
High fly, twisting up into the sun. Acuna and Almonte, and the center fielder will make the play. Acuna Jr. 1, 2, 3, 3-0. Red Sox at the end of 4. Story today, 4:30, following Bruins post-game coverage on NESN. JetBlue Park, Fenway South. Red Sox with a 3-0 lead on Atlanta. About to bring in the top of the 5th inning. And the new pitcher for the Sox will be the right-hander Austin Bryce, who is now 28 years old. We saw him pitch in 21 games. He actually made a start last year. ERA of 5.95.
Well, great job by Martin Perez today in this game to have a real strong outing for the Red Sox.
4 innings, 5 Ks, only a couple of hits, no runs. And he was really good. Yesterday, Garrett Richards was really good. Contreras to lead things off. I think, very few things when you're following your team in spring training, however you're following them, make you smile more than a really good start by that day's starting pitcher.
Yeah, and makes them smile too, because look at Garrett Richards, like you were talking about. He got off to a couple of real rocky starts, right? So they went back to the drawing board, and they found a little something that gave him, some confidence going into his next start, which he worked on and did very well with. And so that gives him some positive feedback and positive feeling that going into his next start, he's got something to think about and work on and know that it worked for him the last time out. But, it's a roller coaster ride. It really is. When you're struggling, it doesn't matter if it's spring training or during the season. You're always searching for the right way to do things and have success. Nobody wants to be embarrassed on the field.
Look, in particular, in the context of what happened last season with the pitching staff, when you get good news the following spring training with a rebuilt pitching staff, it means a lot.
Yes, it does.
The deeper you get into spring training, it means a lot more.
Well, that's what I say to everybody that asks me about this year's team. I said, look, they're going to score runs. I said, there's no question about that. And I think they're going to be very decent defensively. I said, it all depends on their starting pitching. I said, I think the bullpen's going to be fine. It's what we get from the top 5.
3-2, and walked him. So Contreras starts off the 5th inning with ball 4. Adrianza will be next. Now, when you say that, people are asking you about the Red Sox, is it the same with me and Eck and everybody else? That's like when you're at Shaw's and you're about to grab a gallon of milk and a loaf of bread and head home, somebody walks up to you and goes, "Hey, what do you think? What do you think about this?"
Oh, they ask all the time. Yeah, they really do, especially after last season. And I get it at the gas station quite often when I go to fill up. And, what do you think? Thumbs up, thumbs down? And I give them, we'll see. Thumbs up a little bit. And I really think, as I watch from afar, that I think this club could surprise some people. I really do. But, again, that all depends on the starting pitching. It all depends on that. If you don't have starting pitching, you're not going to surprise anybody. I don't care how many runs you score.
Yep.
You're not going to do it. You've got to have people to shut people down. And that's what I say to everybody.
Adrianza with a base hit, first time up. He will eye a strike. Yeah, I mean, last season, granted, it was only 60 games. It was crazy. It was bizarre. It was so unique. But that team was not a bad offensive team.
No, not at all.
It was a bad ball club because they had an ERA near 6. First time in Red Sox history as high as it was. High pop up, foul ground. And here comes Arauz. Here comes the catcher. It's going to fall in. Wong couldn't get to it. And up in the sun for a long time, and it drops in foul territory.
Yeah, Bobby Dahlbeck, the first baseman, had no idea where this baseball was. And he was hoping Arauz or Wong could make a play on it. Wong just couldn't get to it. And Arauz had to go around Bobby Dahlbeck. But you can see right there, he's lost. He's got no idea where the baseball is.
So Adrianza with a swing on the house, with Contreras on at first. And that one's going to plunk him. He gets drilled. So rough start here for Bryce, the right-hander, a walk and a hit batsman.
Now this is not exactly what you're looking for after 4 strong performances, by Perez, and you get a walk, a hit batter, a little drop pop up because they couldn't see it, and immediately you're in danger.
2 on, nobody out. Ryan Goins, who is the DH today, 0 for 1, struck out against Martin Perez. Red Sox and the Braves with identical 6-5 Grapefruit League records. Showing a bunt. Deadens that one. Here's the play at first, and got him in a bang-bang play. Runners are going to move up, though.
Al Devers comes in and makes a beautiful barehanded play, and he also gets his body in a very good position to throw the ball to first base. It wasn't like he had to throw across his body to get it there. Excuse me, to get it there. Now that was not bunting to sacrifice two men in a scoring position. That was bunting for a base hit right there. I mean, you're not going to bunt to sacrifice and still be a run short if you score the 2 runs. That's just bunting for a base hit, and that's a heck of a play there by Devers.
Good bunt, too.
Very good bunt down that third base line. Almost perfect.
Acuna Jr., a fly out, a ground out. He's trouble. Wailing away. Boy, every swing he takes is like that. 14 home runs in just 46 games for the Braves last season. So a couple of Braves in scoring position. 3-0 Sox here. Puts it in play to short. Hernandez has the play at first base and gets him as a run comes in to score. Contreras, who started the inning, taking ball 4, and it's 3-1.
They took a peek to home to see if he had a chance, and he may have had a chance on him, but why take that chance? Get the out, get the sure out. You've got the lead. Makes it a 3-1 ball game, and you pick up that all important second out of the inning.
Adrianza advancing to third, and it brings up Albies. He's flied out. He has grounded out 0 for 2. Golfing at that one, and he'll fly that one down the line and off into the seats.
Take a look at Hernandez here as he takes a peek at home, and he might have had a chance, but no. At this stage of the ball game, you got the lead, get the outs.
And the 0-1 to Albies. Governor Baker announcing in late February Massachusetts entering phase 4 of the reopening plan. Red Sox announcing limited capacity plans, allowing for the safe return of fans to Fenway for the regular season, including opening day, which is April the 1st against Baltimore. So there will be fans again as of this point in Fenway. Runner at third, 2 down, and a 1-2. Austin Bryce, born in China, born in Hong Kong. Red Sox first player ever born in China. 28 years ago. A wave and a miss. That one really disappeared. He gets out of the inning. 1 run in for the Braves.
Imagine yourself in a new Toyota.
Yeah. Tomorrow, it's Red Sox Twins at 1, only on NESN. The Hockey East Men's Tournament, where the best teams from college's Premier Hockey Conference face off. Tomorrow, it's the men's quarterfinals at 1 and 4:30 on NESN and NESN Plus. Presented by Rockland Trust, where each relationship matters.
Download the MLB app to get in-game video highlights, live pitch-by-pitch breaking news, player updates, and more. Follow your Red Sox and the rest of the league all season long.
Red Sox ahead of the Braves here 3-1 to the bottom half of inning number 5. And Bobby Dalbec about to get in again. He'll be facing Jacob Webb here. Bobby struck out in second inning. He has been mashing the ball so far this spring. Bobby hit a home run in 5 consecutive games in early September. September 5 through the 10th, he homered in every single game. The only other players to homer in 5 in a row last year were Luke Voit and Aaron Judge. Arauz on deck. He also recorded at least 1 RBI in 6 consecutive games around that time. Before Bobby, the last Red Sox rookie to do it was Nomar, 1997, who did it in 6 straight games. Jonathan Morales is the new catcher for Atlanta. And here's the 2-1 from Webb. It was tempting. And he swung the bat. 2-2. Got a piece of it to stay alive there. Bobby out of the University of Arizona, where he was a pretty good pitcher. Obviously could swing the bat. Also posted a .265 ERA in 72 appearances. Made 15 starts. Well, Sky, this one popped into shallow right along the line. Lamb is out there, and he's got it. 1 gone. And that will send up Jonathan Arauz, who doubled to begin the 3rd inning. Eventually wild pitch down to 3rd. He would score a run, and some good hitting by Alex Verdugo, who drove him home with a sacrifice fly. Sox do have 1 home run today from Hunter Renfroe. Solo shot, 2nd inning. And a fastball, a strike. Red Sox now in their 10th season at Fenway South for spring training, which opened in 2012. Fly it into center. Pretty well hit, but back there Acuna Jr. and 2 down.
Now it seems like a long time, doesn't it? It's been open, but what a beautiful ballpark, and I miss being down there. I really do. It's you know, it's a nice break to get down there for the month of March and break up the winter up here and get back to spring when you get back. And I miss the interaction with the coaches and the manager and you know, the players. I really do. And sometimes when I'm up here, you know, I feel so far out of touch with some of that it's kind of unbelievable, but it is what it is, and you make the best of it.
I feel cold. That's what I feel. Pitching change, 3-1. Sox leading Atlanta. DraftKings, the raffle helps the Red Sox Foundation's efforts to support the recovery of our local communities. Fans over 18 in Florida and Massachusetts can buy tickets at redsox.com/5050 now through the 7th inning of the game on Sunday, March 28th. The jackpot currently over $5,000. Please see official rules for full details. Carl Edwards Jr., the reed-thin right-hander, formerly of the Texas Rangers, also the Chicago Cubs. And with Seattle last year. Originally drafted by Texas, made his major league debut in 2015. Rocketed and a wicked cut, but foul by Kike Hernandez.
Kike out in front of that breaking ball right there, and boy, he had one to hit. You know, he picked it up pretty good. He was just out in front of it. Line shot into the stands.
Alex Cora says versatility is the word this spring.
Versatility is the name of the team.
And Kike right in the middle of that with his ability to play multiple positions. He's at shortstop today.
You're going to have to check that lineup card very closely every single day that we get it.
His relationship, with Kike goes back a long way, back to Puerto Rico. So this one has popped up. Fighting his son Acuna Jr. He'll make the play rather casually in the end for out number 3, 3-1 Red Sox. East men's quarterfinals start tomorrow. We have all the action for you starting at 1 on NESN Plus. UMass Lowell taking on BU, and then at 4:30 catch UNH in BC after our Sox game on NESN. Northeastern faces off against UMass on NESN Plus. It's all presented by Rockland Trust Bank, where each relationship matters.
It's like Alligator Alley right there. You drive across from Fort Myers all the way across to the other side to Miami or Fort Lauderdale, and you see a lot of those on the trip.
Yes.
Not much else, but a lot of those.
Stay on your chosen path.
Yes, don't stop.
Don't veer off. Hey, Darwinson's making his first appearance of the spring, so this is his Grapefruit League debut. Look at that sparkling 2.16 ERA in 7 games last year.
Key member to the bullpen right here. This kid's got electric stuff. There's no question about that. Can serve in many roles in the Red Sox bullpen.
Yes, versatility is the watchword, even for left-handed relievers on this Red Sox team. Chad De La Guerra taking over at short. And you're going to get a flamethrower here. Swanson with a single and a tapper to short, 1 for 2. Darwinson now 24 years old, born in Venezuela. 6'2", 244. He can bring it. Atlanta 3-4-5 in their order. We are less than 3 weeks from opening day. April 1 against Baltimore at Fenway. Swanson, a shortstop with pretty good pop. Waves right through that pitch.
Came the green light. 3 balls, no strikes. Unusual. Face a pitcher that's come in the game, thrown 3 straight balls, and then you give the hitter the green light. Swanson wants to swing the bat here in spring training. Doesn't want to walk.
Three and 2. Darwinson particularly tough against lefties. He's allowed only 1 home run in his career in the regular season, including Arizona Fall League, to a left-handed batter. Got his first major league win last season against Baltimore in August. Working out of the bullpen. All of the appearances last season were all out of the bullpen, but he does have one major league start. And he'll miss away ball 4. So despite the fact Swanson wanted to swing it, he'll take a walk here to begin the 6th inning.
Surprised he didn't swing at that one just to give him another chance to swing the bat. I didn't come to spring training to walk. I want to work on my swing.
So now he'll get a left-hander in Jake Lamb. 193 a season ago with 3 home runs. At first base, of course, they've got Freddie Freeman as their everyday guy, and it doesn't get much better than that, if it gets better at all, for an everyday first baseman. Offensively, defensively, leadership. Freeman, he's in a class by himself. Did not make the trip, and that one will graze him. He gets hit by the pitch. So it's the 2nd inning in a row that has begun with a walk and a hit batsman.
Well, first time out on the mound, and maybe nerves having a little something to do with this for Hernandez. Walking the first batter, hitting the second batter, and now he's got a jam he's going to fight out of.
Almonte, the hitter, he has struck out 2 times. And that's in there for strike 1. If you're just tuning in, the Red Sox started the lefty Martin Perez. He was outstanding. 4 innings, 2 hits, no runs. He punched out 5. And he got squeezed several times, but as Jerry said, there's no whining in spring training.
He can whine though. He
can show it. Yeah.
You know, he can go 2 pitches deep after that one he didn't get and still give a funny look to the umpire. Like, I should have had that one 2 pitches ago.
Yeah. Swanson on at second after ball 4. Lamb just got grazed by a pitch. And that's punch foul. Going to be some new faces on this Red Sox club. 11 members on the 40-man roster were not in the organization last year. And an additional 5 on the roster were acquired in August by Chaim Bloom last season, including Nick Pivetta, Connor Siebold, another name you want to keep an eye on. And Darwin's in with the 2-2. And in there to freeze, and boy, he made a good pitch to strike him out.
That's the hat trick for Almonte this afternoon. Fastball outside corner, just hanging out of the webbing of the glove, as you can see there, of Wong. Well, Almonte in disbelief.
Yeah, that's what that look said. And for Darwinson, that's a pitch he really needed to make. Big first out brings up Phillip Ervin, who has K'd, and he's also grounded to short. Xander Bogaerts getting into the lineup today as the designated hitter, and he has a double. Any other spring, that's not a major development, but getting him up there to swing the bat, this is the 2nd time he's DH'd this spring, so it's very recent. Very, very promising news for the Red Sox shortstop, who's been battling shoulder soreness.
Yeah, next step will be obviously more at bats for more timing, but really the next step is getting him in the field and making some throws from shortstop.
2-1.
That's when I'll feel better.
Yeah, and that'll be this coming week. Yeah, ideally. Two on, 1 out. Pitch number 17 in the inning for the lefty. And 3-1. Red Sox 3, Braves 1. We're in the 6th inning. And he'll walk another man, so he's showing some rust here, and the bases are loaded up.
Yeah, well, this is very dangerous right here. A couple of walks, hit batter. Have not had a hit yet, but the bases are loaded. And out comes Dave Bush to have a little conversation with Dowson. Trust your stuff. Don't try to make a perfect pitch.
And Morales will be the batter. Jonathan Morales, who came on to take over the catching duties for Contreras. And no place to put him. They are all loaded up for the Braves. So Hernandez has to make his pitches. 2 walks and he's hit a man.
Well, can't get the fastball over. Try something else. Try the breaking ball, and that time that could not find home plate.
Now facing a minor league catcher here with the bases all loaded up. Here's the 1-0. Little topper. De La Guerra got it out there onto first, and the Red Sox turned a double play, and that's exactly what Hernandez needed there to get out of the inning. 3-1 Boston.
It's happened. Get the double play ball. Nice turn over at second base by Arauz, and the stretch by Daubach at first base, and after walks and hit batters and you get a little contact, you get a ground ball, you get out of the inning.
Clean that one up nicely. So bottom of the 6th inning. Sox will bring up 2, 3, 4 in the lineup, scheduled to be Verdugo, Bogaerts, Devers against Carl Edwards Jr. Alex today has struck out and he's driven in a run with a sacrifice fly. And the 0-1. Launching that one, a high fly, well struck, deep right center toward the triangle. Nice running catch by Acuna Jr., who had it all the way. And 1 man out.
Well, I thought this ball was going and left the bat of Verdugo. It sounded like it. It looked like it might be, but it head back to the 420 and track down there, heading out to the triangle. Looks like Harris coming into the game in center field, making that play, going away.
So 1 man gone, and Bogaerts has been lifted. And Wong, the batter, in that spot. Wong now doing the catching. Red Sox on top 3-1 here in the 6th. Wong in 111 games in A-ball and Double-A last year. Good power. 24 home runs. Long out of Houston, Texas. Here's the 2-1. Not tempting enough.
Now thinking about the players going through spring training again with the COVID protocols, and I would have to imagine it's a little bit more normal than it was a year ago when they had to return, you know, from spring training to prepare at Fenway Park for the season. It had to be very, very difficult, and you know, living with those protocols all through the season, I would say that they've got a little jump on that this year, knowing what to expect anyway.
I would think so, yeah.
That had to be a very, very difficult season last year. Had to be.
You know what a lot of the players talked about, and you know this in a coaching staff as well, was it's tough to get a feel of a ball club's chemistry. That's going to be ball 4 on Wong. However much you hold that in regard, I mean, you don't have the opportunity to address your whole team at any point.
Your meetings are by Zoom. I mean, it's hard to have, you know, face-to-face contact and talk about things, and you don't get the group together as much as you would like. They don't get together as much as they would like. Strange circumstances, very strange.
Rafael Devers has struck out 2 times. I mean, if you want to correct something that you're seeing as a manager or coaching staff, it takes 5 meetings to do it instead of just 1. One quick address. Comes off the bat at an odd angle. Out there onto first, and they're going to turn it. And that will retire the side as Devers gets doubled up here in the 6th inning. Red Sox spring training on NESN is brought to you by BuyAToyota.com, Toyota's official website for deals. And by BigTimeBats.com. Visit now for your Tom Brady 7-time Super Bowl champ art football. Top 7 at JetBlue. 3-1. Sox had the lead. Low hit game. Pitching's been pretty good.
Yeah, it has been. For a spring training game, very good.
Atlanta's had a couple of chances the Red Sox have thwarted. They've led 6. Red Sox only 2. Darwinson moving into his 2nd inning. Showing some rust in the last one. We get out of it with a big double play. And so the Red Sox have a 2-run advantage, looking to beat the Braves and go to 7-5 as far as their spring training mark. Got an outstanding effort from Martin Perez today over 4 innings. Adrianza will lead things off. He has singled and he's been hit by a pitch. Braves bringing up 8-9-1 in 7th. A little bit high for ball. And the lefty's 2-0 pitch. Trying to keep it down, but too far down apparently. February 1, Fenway opened as Boston's first mass vaccination site. Over 34,000 vaccines have been administered at Fenway. Expecting that number to rise over 55,000 by the end of March. Cross for a strike.
And then once the season starts, they'll be going to the Heinz Convention Center, moving from Fenway to the Heinz Convention Center to continue that work.
And the 3-1, that will be ball 4. Adrianza is on. And happy to say hello to Alex Verdugo, who was such a breath of fresh air last season for the Boston Red Sox at over 300. Alex, thanks so much for throwing on the earbuds and joining us. We appreciate it very much.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
Drove in a run today. So when you're done with a day like this, if you're all finished up, and you did a couple of nice things, picked up an RBI, some good hitting there. What do you do? What do you do the rest of the day? Do you go back and look at your at bats, or what do you do the rest of the afternoon and evening?
Yeah, like right now I'm done, so I'll go into the video room. I'll go check out my swings and just make sure, if my posture, if certain things that I have, my keys, if they're lined up, and just kind of take it. I mean, I have a pretty good idea of, just what I did out here. My swing, I hit a line drive to left and then just hit a ball to right center pretty good. So the fact that I'm able to get into the firing position and to let my swing eat a little bit is already a really good sign.
Alex, Jerry Remy here. I've been reading an awful lot about how you like to take batting practice in the batting cage. You don't like taking it on the field, and one of the reasons for that is you're able to juice up the volume on the machine because we get so many hot throwers in the game today. And you get the sense that during batting practice you try to lift too much and try to hit the ball out of the ballpark, where you kind of control your swing during your swings in the batting cage.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to explain it. For me, just BP, I think, if the guy's throwing 50, 55 miles an hour, it's fairly easy at that speed to kind of do whatever you want. If you want to pull it, you want to hit it off, it's pretty easy. But for me, yeah, in BP, I end up kind of lifting a little bit more, just getting under the ball a tick more than what I usually would. So, through the years, I've kind of figured that for me personally, cage is just really beneficial. I can go in there, I can get my obviously soft toss, and then go into, either a live arm or the machine. And really, having the cage, it just sets my sights right up the middle and focusing on the big part of the field. And, if you pull a ball, it's because you reacted. If you hit a ball oppo, it's because, you let that ball travel a little bit.
Alex, 2020, tough on everybody, tough on the field, and you didn't get to play in front of, fans at Fenway. COVID-19 was just, that was what it was, and hopefully that's coming to an end. But I think the highlight of the season, for me anyway, was your catch on Travis Shaw's, what should have been a home run, and you took that away. And then your response after, and I know this went viral, this went everywhere. First of all, it was a great defensive play. And you denied a guy a big moment, as he's looking for a huge moment in his career. But I thought it was great, and it was a slice of your personality of playing it here. I mean, everybody would have gone bananas in Fenway had the place been packed, but you did, which was one of the highlights all season long. First of all, great catch.
Thank you. Yeah, that was just one of those days, man. I had ran into 2 home runs on the offensive side, and then we were up 2 runs in the 9th, and I think Travis Shaw, like you said, it came up to lead off, and just to bring that back and to keep the lead 2 runs and get 1 out. And also I kind of felt bad for Travis because, that was going to be his big 100.
Now, who is that now? Who's getting in here?
Well, I believe it's Chavito. I think he went back down, but I believe it's Chavito poking his little eyes out.
Alex, I wanted to ask you, it's just the first spring with Alex Cora as your manager, and I'm sure you found out with a lot of the club players on the clubs knew, is that he's a guy that with an awful lot of energy. He sees things in a very positive way, and I'm sure that's the way he's conducting camp this year, to try to make everybody believe that yes, we are going to be a good ball club.
Yeah, definitely. I want to clear up one question, though. It was actually Duran over here sneaking. He was on my right, not my left.
All right.
And then with AC, yeah, it's been amazing. Just having him around, seeing how much he interacts with everybody, whether it's coaching staff, trainers, outfielders, pitchers. He just really bounces around to everybody, open communication, and just one of those guys that you can trust. He's a great coach, and obviously a lot of players talk very highly of him. And, getting here, going through the spring training with him, you can see why. He's what we like to call a player's coach, and really looks out for his players and his teammates and everybody. So he's one of the best managers for sure.
with the situation with fans not being in the ballpark last season, Alex, were you aware that you had become a fan favorite? I mean, a tough year. Obviously, the club didn't win. It was a dismal year in many respects there. But, a lot of fans really responded to the way you played, your energy, enthusiasm, all this. You got to be dying to get fans back in the ballpark.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think, already right now as we think we have very limited capacity, people come in and you can already just feel the difference now. Just some of those at-bats, some of those little jitteries, those nerves that you get, it's coming back. And yeah, I'm just looking forward, to one day having full crowds and really have that noise, man. These guys do a really good job with limited fans, but obviously a stadium full and that you can't even hear your outfielders if you're calling a ball. So there's a lot of different things that come into play, but I'm definitely looking forward for them to bring that energy, and it's just going to rub off me and add even more energy.
I can tell. All right, Alex, thanks so much, man. Very kind of you to take a couple of moments, so we appreciate it. And looking forward to watching you all season long.
Of course, guys. Thank you.
Alex Verdugo and Jarren Duran joining us. 3-1 Red Sox. Red Sox hope it's 8.5, of course. They lead it 3-1. 4 hits for the Sox, just 2 for the Atlanta Braves against an array of Red Sox pitchers, which started off with Martin Perez going the first 4, and he shut out Atlanta on 2 hits and 5 Ks. Nice visit there with Alex Verdugo.
Very good interview.
Yeah, he really is.
Yeah, he loves it.
And that's one of the things we all noticed last season. He's got a big personality. I think he loves playing baseball. That just comes out like crazy. That Red Sox fans will take very well to, as they did last season, those who watched him play on television. And Renfroe has a long home run, mammoth shot in second inning. He's also struck out 1 for 2. Connor Johnstone on the hill now for Atlanta, and a breaking ball in for a strike. And a tapper foul. Marwin Gonzalez expected to get another at bat. And there's Marwin, one of the new faces, and another guy that Alex Cora is very familiar with, going back to Houston together. And Alex Cora says he fights for every pitch, and when you're on the other team, it drives you nuts. He doesn't give anything.
Yeah, doesn't give a pitch away. He's always ready to hit. It's amazing how guys like that, really thrive in the game of baseball. Guys that can play multiple positions, how tough that is.
Yeah, like you said, you bring a lot of gloves on this team.
Yeah, your daily work program is much more difficult than, the normal everyday player.
So if you're a utility guy, and these guys like Marwin Gonzalez and Kike Hernandez are that in the extreme.
Yes.
Because they can play literally 5, 6, maybe 7 different positions. Renfroe with a fly ball in center field, and Harris with a catch. 1 man out. How does that work in spring training where, all right, so you've got several different gloves. Are you working as an outfielder, an infielder, second baseman, shortstop every day?
Well, I think a lot of it has to do on what you might be doing that particular day. If you're in the lineup as an outfielder, obviously that particular day you'll work basically on that. But you may come in after getting your outfield work done and take some ground balls, because you never know when you may have to switch in the middle of a ball game. And that's something I think the Red Sox will do before spring training is over. Move some of these guys. They might start in left field, and they may end up at first base. Or, Hernandez might start in center field and end up at second base. So you might see some of that go on. So you've got to be prepared every single day for it. It's a very difficult job.
Gonna be a fair ball. And a flip on to Johnstone for the out. 2 up and 2 down. Red Sox with a 3-1 lead here.
And you know what all guys love to do, right? They love to hit. I mean, they want to take as much batting practice as they possibly can, but, you know, you've got to be able to prepare yourself to play these different spots. And it is time consuming, but it's all works out, and you become a very valuable member of your team when you can do stuff like that. And we've seen guys make livings, you know, staying in the big leagues because they can do that.
Sure. Christian Vazquez 1 for 2. He has singled and flied out as he takes a big hack. Coming off another good year with the bat. Vazquez now the DH. Wong the catcher, where Christian started positionally. And he's now hitting in Xander Bogaerts' spot as the designated hitter's position, the 3 spot, but he's the catcher. Gentle pop to short side, retired. We move on to the 8th inning. Red Sox lead 3-1. Well, on Friday, the Red Sox new right-hander from Japan, Sawamura, now got off to a good start there and expect that split. Then he started to get a little bit wild. In fact, he walked 3 in a row, Jerry.
Well, you know, a little bit nervous, he even admitted today in the paper. It was his first live competition in a game, and felt like he mentioned a couple of things. The size of the baseball, which we've heard a lot about, especially when Daisuke was joining the Red Sox, and also the softness of the mound, which I found a little bit interesting. I don't know how different the mounds are in Japan than they are here, but all things that obviously he can work through. And you know, you see the last 10 years pitching in Japan, professional baseball league, 48-52, 2.77 ERA, very good numbers. And you know, I think he's going to be a benefit for the Red Sox bullpen. I do. You know, he's got a put away slider, put away split, and I think that's going to really help.
Our key matchup presented by Sullivan Tire and Auto Service. So Jay Groom coming out of the bullpen. Red Sox will bring on another southpaw with a 3-1 lead in the 8th. Less than 3 weeks to opening day. Groom, a quick worker, misses downstairs for a ball. Justin Dean out of A-ball last year. Good season behind him, 284 with 9 home runs.
Hasn't had a chance to throw it yet, but his best pitch is his curveball. Supposed to be the best in the minor league organization for the Red Sox. Falling behind in the count, 3-0 on fastballs.
And a strike. That's a bullet and a base hit toward the alley. Long run to cut it. Oh, and he goes down. He's going to have to scurry on back to first.
He lost an edge. Dean looked like he had an easy double there, and as he rounded first base, his skates just went from him. And down he goes. That's a guaranteed double right there. He just can't keep his balance. A little bit embarrassing. He was able to get up and scramble back to the first base bag, but you know, when you get number 88 on your back and you pull one like that, you're going to hear about it on that bus ride home.
Mm-hmm. So both the Red Sox and the Braves going to their benches here. Bryce Ball, who's been in the game at first, and has pretty serious pop. And a breaking ball. Groom, 22 years old, from Toms River, New Jersey. Runner on the move, and that's going to be floated foul. Dean will head on back to first.
Now, Dean was convinced to get to second base, wasn't he? Somehow, down 2 runs, he's off and stealing. Said, I should have had a double. I'm going to get the stolen base and get into second base.
Drew missed all of 2018, most of 2019 because of Tommy John surgery. So it's been a long road back. And that's going to be in there for strike 3. Good pitch to Freeze. Ball. Out number 1.
Fastball this time. Basically right down the middle of the plate. Just above the knees. And certainly Ball knew that was a good pitch.
So 1 man out. Harris will climb in. Goes after the first one and a catch at third base. Nice play there. Chavis able to get all over this one. Got all over him. So 2 down. That was a bullet.
That was a rocket right there. That was a changeup that time. And he hit for the line shot to Chavis at third base. Well, Chavis, you know, he looks like he's taken off a little bit of weight.
Does, doesn't he?
Yeah, he really does.
Two away for the Braves. They have scored in only 1 inning. That was back in the 5th and needed some help to do that. On a walk, a hit batsman, a bunt, and eventually a ground out. Scored without the benefit of a hit. Red Sox pitching has been really good. Only 1 home run in the game, and Hunter Renfroe hit that in the 2nd inning. Up and over the monster here at Fenway South. And disappeared deep into the sky. Travis Demeritte, the batter, for the first time today. With 2 gone. We are in the 8th inning. Runner on the move and the throw down. Here's the tag, and he's safe. So he got there eventually.
Yeah, he was determined. I mean, he doesn't care what the score is right now. He was determined to get to where he belonged, or at least he felt he belonged. And the one-hop quick tag by Arauz not quite in time. Good speed, very good speed.
So Atlanta with a man in scoring position. It's been a rarity today. Bounced it, runner holding. Sox have their 3rd catcher of the day back there, Ronaldo Hernandez. Started out with Christian Vasquez and then Connor Wong. The pitch is upstairs. Sox got a run in the 2nd, 2 in the 3rd. So far it's held up here at Fort Myers. And a 3-1. Three and 2. Now 5 of the Red Sox last 6 picks in the first round of the June draft were invited to this spring camp, and Groom is one of those from 2016. 3-2, and he skipped it. So he has walked him. That'll put runners at first and second. And we'll bring up the catcher, Morales. So Groom trying to get out of this, and he drops in a breaking ball. Red Sox now in their 29th year, having called Fort Myers their spring training home. It's their most years spent at any spring training city.
Remember many years ago, the Kansas City Royals were in Fort Myers at the old ballpark. I think it was Terry Park, if I'm not mistaken.
Remember offhand how long the Sox were in Winter Haven?
Ooh, long time. You know, geez, I can't remember how long before I got there and then after, but it was quite a long time.
Yeah. 29 years here in Fort Myers, the 1-1. He lays off.
Fort Myers was interesting because there was not a lot of condo living down there, and most of the team and the players and their families stayed at a Holiday Inn that was very close to the ballpark, maybe a mile and a half away. And it was interesting because we had come from Palm Springs, where spring training was with the Angels, and we arrived at the Holiday Inn, and we went, "This is where we stay." and Fisk kids are running all over the place. They're all in the back, and they're riding their bikes around, but it was kind of cool because everybody stayed in the same place, and it wasn't the greatest of conditions, but it was family-like, I should say.
Yeah.
You had a few places to go out and eat dinner and stuff like that, but it was a great move to go to Fort Myers. It really was.
Two on, two out. Here's the 2-2 to Morales. Ran it in, and he fouled it off. The Red Sox with a couple of pitchers, right-handers, Thad Ward and Josh Winkowski, both grew up here in Fort Myers. Ward served as a bat boy for the Sox at City of Palms Park. He can't really recall the year. He says somewhere 06, 07, or 08, somewhere in there. Breaking ball, and that's going to be on the infield very gently. Bobby Dahlbeck makes the play, and out of the inning again. 3-1 Red Sox in the middle of the 8th. Bottom of the 8th inning here at Fenway South, and the Sox are on top 3-1 on the Atlanta Braves. Just 7 total hits in the game. Several times today it looked like Atlanta was going to stage a rally, but the Red Sox short-circuited that by getting a ground ball or a double play. Nolan Kingham will come out of the bullpen. He was a Double-A last year for the Braves. 7-12 with a 3.92 ERA as a starter.
Good day today for Red Sox pitching. It has been, and it all started with Martin Perez, and he pitched a very nice ball game today. Commanded the ball really well. Went after hitters. Red Sox, some of them had a little bit of problem, but were able to get out of jams with some double plays and good plays defensively. I'll tell you one thing, it seems strange doing 9 innings. Last game I did was 7 innings.
And those extra, the inning and a half or 2 innings, man, that's like the Grand Canyon at this point for us. We've got to pace ourselves.
Exactly, yeah.
It's a big reach, man. Hot shot and a base hit into right field. So the Red Sox begin the 8th inning with a single. So Hernandez aboard. Red Sox trying to get a little more breathing room here against Kingham and company. And Arauz will bat for the 3rd time. He has a double and he's fly down 1 for 2. Red Sox are leading the Grapefruit League in a number of offensive categories: batting average, runs scored, doubles, home runs, slugging percentage. And the 0-1 from the right-hander. And we are happy to have Bobby Dalbec with us from the dugout. Bobby, great to see you. Thanks for being on with us.
Good to see you too. Thanks for having me.
Very kind of you. And man, you've been the talk of camp. I mean, 4 home runs and leading the Grapefruit League in that category coming in. And sometimes we ask a hitter how they feel they're going, even though the numbers will say this one's going to drop into the alley and go all the way to the wall. And Hernandez taken off, and he is going to pull up, and the Red Sox threatening again. Sometimes hitters will say, well, you know, I'm not swinging it as good as the numbers indicate. How about you? How are you feeling about where your swing is?
My swing feels good. I'm just trying to, you know, stay consistent with it and get used to, you know, the longer days, taking more swings than I did during the off season, where things might break down, you know, a little bit quicker than they would. So just managing it, practicing that, you know, that's a skill, is managing your swing as well. So feeling good.
Bobby, you come over from third base and you've made the move to first base, and it seems to me to be pretty seamless, but I'm sure there's been an awful lot of work that's been put in, and you're still doing a lot of work over there to get as comfortable as you possibly can at that first base position.
Yeah, definitely. You know, big thing last year was just footwork, especially in double plays and around the bag, and I feel like I've gotten, you know, way better at that, and we're putting in work every day around the bag, you know, in that defensive lab that we're doing. So, you know, my hands feel good over there. You know, it's just, I think the biggest thing is just knowing where to go on certain situations, you know, cuts, relays, that kind of thing. Bunt plays, you know, it's a little bit different side of the field. So I just got to get a little bit more used to that, and, you know, then we're rolling.
Bobby, how excited are you about, you know, the possibility of playing 162 games or somewhere in there, getting 600 at bats, playing every day at Fenway Park? It's got to be a great time for you as you look ahead. I know you don't want to jump by what's happening in the spring, but you know that possibility, that's got to be a wonderful feeling for you.
Yeah, definitely. It's very exciting. You know, anything could happen. You know, I'm just trying to get a little bit better every day, and, you know, hopefully things work out. You know, playing at Fenway obviously is awesome. Can't wait to hopefully play in front of fans in the near future. So, you know, it's an exciting time in my life right now, and, you know, it's for the team as well. You know, when things are rolling, you know, team's looking really good.
You know, Bobby, last year had to be one of the strangest years that we've ever seen in baseball, and I can't even imagine what you guys had to go through to try to play the game the right way, all the social distancing, all the different ways you had to meet. I can't even imagine what that would be like, you know, as a former player. And, you know, I guess you're getting back to a point right now where maybe you're getting used to it a little bit on how to deal with situations like this.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing for me is it's like we basically aren't allowed to be close to our teammates, which is, you know, that's pretty tough. You know, especially with all the team chemistry and everything. So, you know, I think we're finding ways to build that right now, but hopefully, you know, things start to clear up with COVID and everything, and we can start, you know, feeling like a normal team, a normal clubhouse, you know, talking, you know, walking around, no masks, hopefully in the near future. But, you know, the communicating thing was tough last year, especially being in the suites. You know, it's like, you know, hang out with one guy every day, and then, you know, walk down to the field and it's like, hey, I haven't seen it yet. So, you know, it's all part of it, though. You just got to stay with it.
What are you being told about what it's going to be like, you know, come opening day, Bobby, when you get there? Going to be ball 4 on De La Guerra. We'll load up the bases here. Will it be suites again in any combination, or is that all gone?
I have no idea, honestly. I haven't really. I don't think they've ironed that stuff out yet. I think they'll probably nail it down in the next week, 2 weeks or so. But, you know, I'm hoping we can all be in the same clubhouse. That'd be awesome.
And last question for me: is there any hope of getting Jarren Duran on the air at any point? Is there any chance he might, you know, instead of bombing you from behind?
Oh,
Speaking of which, high deep drive, left field. Forget about it. A grand slam.
The 4-pointer.
Michael Geddes with an absolute blast. And as Bobby D said, it's a 4-pointer as the Red Sox blow this one open here in the 8th inning. I'm not sure which one went deeper, Hunter Renfroe's or this one. This was a shot.
Well, that was an absolute bomb right there, and right in the middle of our conversation, which was very insulting on Geddes' part.
That was great.
Wow, that looks like something off speed that he did a great job at staying back on, and just lifted it and launched it right over the green monster.
Bobby, impressive from your angle.
Yeah, that was fun to watch from here. Dang. Yeah, what was that question about Duran? Yeah, hopefully you can get him on here. He's tough to get a hold of.
Yeah, he is, but he's video bombed everything we've done today. So at some point,
yeah, I know, right?
He's a very talented young player. We got to get him on the air as well.
Yeah, we'll get him on there.
Yeah, please do. All right, we'll work at that. Maybe an actual interview at some point. But Bobby, continued success in what's been a terrific spring for you so far, and enjoyed it a lot. And good luck the rest of the way. We'll see you on opening day at Fenway.
Appreciate it. Looking forward to it, guys. Thanks for having me.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Bobby Dahlbeck had a pretty good view of that shot by Geddes, and the Red Sox lead at 7-1.
I like that too, because you get the reaction from the dugout when something like that's hit. Everybody just going crazy, like, whoa, look at this one.
Yeah. He said instantaneously, 4-pointer. Chavis with a hot shot there to the third baseman, but he will be cut down at first base. Red Sox 7-1. Here's Bobby's reaction.
You got to watch those. You got to watch them. They sound good, and then you got to watch them, see how far they go.
Yeah, Geddes just destroyed it. So Red Sox getting comfortable here at the tail end of the day, on top 7-1 on the Braves. Jeter Downs has already been designated back to the minor league camp. Takes a pitch down into the dirt. One of the guys reassigned to the minor leagues this week. And another youngster with a very bright future. He lays into one. Driving back the right fielder to turn on this one. Number 2. Duran once again. Whoever's on the video, he's going to find a way to get into the shot. I think it's impressive. He's done it a couple of times today.
Except he's ruining our NESN interviews. I mean, we work very hard on putting these questions together.
Oh, big time, yeah.
And we need serious answers.
24-year-old from California, who of course can absolutely fly in and out of frame too, as well as on the bases. And the 0-1. Watching Bobby as we're interviewing Bobby Dahlbeck, and I'm thinking to myself, boy, there's a lot of resemblance there to a young Dewey Evans. You
think so?
I think so.
Do you really?
Which is, great compliment for Bobby. Fouled at home plate.
That's a good call. When you think about it, same type of body figure. Kind of long, lean.
Yeah. I mean, very different players, I know, but
yeah.
As far as skill set, what they do on it, but I mean, physically, yeah, I think there's something there. And that'll be in there for strike 3. The side is retired, but the Red Sox get a 4-pointer on top 7-1. Rays launching one to make it 7-1 Boston as we go to the 9th inning. Yes, we are playing 9 today, or 8.5 is the goal for the Red Sox. John Schreiber, last season with Detroit, appeared in 15 games with a .632. Trying to finish this one up and give the Sox another spring training win, which would be their 4th in a row. So Red Sox looking for a quick top of the 9th inning. Great to have everybody who's joined us today. We really enjoyed Will Venable coming out of the dugout today. He's Red Sox new bench coach alongside Alex Cora. Got to know Will a little bit. Alex Verdugo is terrific. Bobby Dahlbeck terrific. And very nice of all of those guys to hop on the Skype there and join us from the Red Sox dugout. That's something you can do all the time. When spring training you can. Lofted down the line into the corner, but that will be a foul ball.
That's something you can certainly do in spring training. You know why? Because everybody's in a good mood in spring training. Season starts, the pressure starts to get to you, and it's like, I'm not sure I want to do this,
Yeah. Well, I get that.
Yeah.
I don't blame anybody for that. Spring training, you're a little more relaxed. Into left center field, and that one's going to catch some green and bounce back to Jimenez. Going to be extra bases, so Atlanta, Alexander now on at second with a 2-base hit.
Good power shown the other way by Alexander. That pitch down and away, and he doesn't try to pull it. He goes with it, takes it to the opposite field. No hook in that swing, just taking the ball where it's pitched and going with it off the wall, and has himself the double. He had a lead off the 9th inning. I love that kind of swing. I mean, when I see guys try to hook that ball, it drives me absolutely crazy. Kind of hook it always for a ground ball at second base.
Sox back at it tomorrow afternoon on NESN. As Goyne sits here with a runner at second base, it'll be Nate Eovaldi on the bump against Minnesota at Hammond Stadium. That's a strike and drop by Hernandez.
Old Hammond Stadium, we go up there when we're working there, and it's a very high booth with very low chairs, and it's very, very difficult to see the field from those chairs. So you got to double up the chairs first of all, and then it's still hard to see home plate. And it's never been one of my favorite places to broadcast a game.
Well, you do like 5 innings and you're like, why does my back hurt so much?
Yeah, I mean, then it's like you go to a place where you don't have a chair that's high enough to see the field. It doesn't make sense.
My first thought is I'm getting really old and it should end right there. But no, it's because, as you say, you have to really strain to see the game. I don't know if that means we'll be allowed back in with open arms next spring, or are they going to complain that we're even there because we complained about the booth? But you're right. I mean,
no, all I want is chairs that can see the field. That's it. I mean, I get the whole concept. It's it's a high booth. It's a beautiful stadium. They've redone it. It's really, really nice. But they never quite seem to get the chairs right.
1-2 slap up the middle for a base hit, and Alexander will come on in to score, and Atlanta gets on the board again. First time since midway through the game in the 5th inning on a double and a single.
Now this will be a different looking ball game now without that bomb back last inning by the Red Sox.
Nobody out, and that'll miss away for a ball. Michael Harris, the batter. Rookie ball and A ball last year, 277. And gets a piece, 1-1.
Imagine rookie ball, A ball, and then the big league camp. That's a huge jump.
Boy, it's got to hit you like a ton of bricks.
Yeah.
Huh?
Just started your professional career, and all of a sudden you're in major league camp. And you see it more and more in today's game because they invite more and more players to spring training, obviously, than they ever did in the past.
Expectations, you know, probably the speed of the game, the talent you're playing with and against, all that must really hit you. And also, when you come to your locker, all the great stuff you get. Right? I mean,
some people do.
Access to some pretty, and the food's so much better. Spread is so much better. I mean, I get to have this for breakfast.
Not only can you get breakfast, you can get lunch and you can get dinner.
The big leagues, this show. Nobody out. Here's the 2-2. Going to float that one down the line. Jimenez can't get to it. It's a fair ball. And that'll take a bounce for a double. Off into the stands. So nothing easy suddenly about this ninth inning.
Give me a break.
Oh.
Doink. And then up into the stands for the ground rule double. Hey, you take anything, right? Yeah, shrug your shoulders. Take it. Put it in the bank. It'll grow interest.
Sean Kazmar, the hitter, with runners at second and third for the Braves, trying to climb back in this one in the ninth inning. Not tempting enough. Well, this has by far been the roughest pitching inning for the Red Sox because until this point they haven't had a bad one. Only one run until this frame in the fifth inning off the end of the bat foul here. Martin Perez sailed through 4 innings with 5 strikeouts, 2 hits, no runs. That was on the heels of Garrett Richards pitching exceptionally well yesterday in a victory over Tampa Bay. So some really good signs as far as the starting pitching is concerned, and I know that is music to the ears of Red Sox fans if that continues, in particular into the regular season, obviously, but here in the spring some very hopeful signs there. Eduardo Rodriguez has gone 6 2/3. Nick Pivetta 5 innings, and they've combined for 12 strikeouts and no walks. And keeping the walks down has been a big focus for Alex Cora, Dave Bush, and the staff. Here's the 2-2 from Schreiber. Did not get the call there inside, so ball 3.
Didn't get the call because the ball was supposed to be away, and you see the catcher reach back. Now that might be a pretty good pitch, but to see him reach back like that, he didn't get the call.
Swing and a miss. He needed that out and got it. 1 away.
Chase something up and out of the strike zone here. Like I don't know if that was a slider or a fastball. It was hard to tell. But up around the shoulders for the swing and miss.
Just going to throw it out there, Remdog. That's 20 pitches.
Well, they ought to call this game.
Just throwing it out there. And that's outside for a ball. On Dean, who's got very good speed, as we've seen today. Second and third, 1 out, 9th inning, 7-2. He'll pop it up. into right field. Very shallow right field, so no chance to get that run in, and that's out number 2. So one more to get, and the Sox can put this one into the win column on a beautiful day in Fort Myers. And Alex Cora has come out. That'll do it for Schreiber, and he's going to make a pitching change with the score 7-2. 2 down, 9th inning. Back with more in a moment.
Chevy Silverado Trail Boss. When you have a 2-inch lift, rugged Goodyear Duratrac tires, and Rancho shocks, when you have all that, the last thing you'll need is a road. The Chevy Silverado Trail Boss, ready to off-road, right from the factory.
Get a 4,000.
First and 1, only on NESN.
Now back in Fort Myers, 9th inning. One more out for the Red Sox to get. A 7-2 lead here on Atlanta as they threaten with runners at 2nd and 3rd. Alex Cora making a pitching change with 2 down. This is Caleb Ort.
All over a couple of years ago. A-ball, AA, AAA. 35 total appearances.
And he's been in the Yankee system. And he will deal outside a ball. Bryce Ball, look at his numbers from 2019, the last minor league season. Hammers that one foul. Sox and the Twins at 1:05 tomorrow on NESN. Certainly hope you'll join us. Nathan Eovaldi will make the start. Kenta Maeda will be the right-hander on the mound for the Twins.
And don't forget to turn those clocks ahead tonight.
That's a great reminder there. In fact, can you call the house at about 4 a.m.? I promise.
I'll call it 2 when you're supposed to call. We're supposed to turn it ahead.
Was it 2 o'clock? Yeah.
Yeah, 2 o'clock.
2 o'clock, we spring ahead. We all hated it in school, didn't we? You know
when I used to hate it in spring training? When we used to have to do this on this night and then travel to West Palm Beach the next day. It was just brutal.
That hour is like, it's gold, when you can't sleep that hour. And a 1-2 from Ort. Line drive off the pitcher. It's a big guy, 6'4", about 230 pounds, knocked it down, and that ends the ball game. He's all smiles in the end. Good sign in the air. Red Sox win it. Final score of 7-2, Jerry.
Well, the whole deal today for me was Martin Perez, because he was real good in this game. Attacking the strike zone, throwing strikes. When he missed, he didn't miss by very much. It was something he had to think about swinging at. I thought that was the story of the day, because pitching, to me, in spring training for the Red Sox is the story. And when you get a starting performance like Martin Perez gave today, very impressive.
No reason to think the pitching is going to be a big factor. Could be greatly improved. It will have to be. And so far this spring, there are very hopeful signs. Sox win it. 7-2, knocking off the Braves. Have actually won 4 straight now here in the Grapefruit League. My partner Jerry Remy, I'm Dave O'Brien. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you tomorrow at 1 o'clock on NESN.
Chevy Silverado Trail Boss.